Hey, what's going on, fellas? It's your boy Tacho here, and we're back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. Alright, so we got this double Special Heroes banner today, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the 411 on this banner, whether or not you should summon on this, and if you do plan to summon, which units are going to be the standouts to go for, and which colors you may want to snipe, if you plan to do any color sniping on this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the hero check, and these are the units that you can summon on the banner. So we're going to break them down by color, starting with red. So on red, we've got the Duo Sigurd, and we have the Summer Joshua. And if we go ahead and take a look at Sigurd up first, Sigurd is, in my opinion, the best dancer in the game. And the reason why is because he's the only cavalry-type dancer we have, meaning that he can run 3 spaces in a turn and pretty much keep pace with any of your other units. The problem with some of the other dancers is that they only move 2 spaces, and if you want to dance other cavalry types, they're not going to be able to keep up. So Sigurd is pretty much the only dancer that you can use to dance on cavalry teams, which is pretty relevant for Aether raids. He also is a duo hero, of course, meaning that if you threw him on a defense team, you're going to be able to use the Duo Hindrance structure. And Duo's Hindrance is, like, right now the most useful structure to have on a defense team. So this Sigurd is incredible. The only other dancer I would compare to him is Duo Peony, because her duo skill is way better than this Sigurd's. But that's not to say this Sigurd's duo skill is bad by any means. He's going to activate reposition for any allies that are adjacent to him, assuming that those allies can actually be repositioned on the opposite space. So a pretty solid duo skill for movement shenanigans. It may not be as powerful as some of the other duo skills, like dominance for example, but it's a very nice utility to have, and the movement shenanigans are very useful. So I would say this Sigurd is an awesome unit to get, especially if you don't have a single copy of him yet. He also comes with incredible skills, like Attack and Res Bond 4 and Lull Attack and Res. So he could also be a very good fodder pull if you want him for that. And his weapon is just awesome. It gives him Attack and Res up 6 and reduces damage from magic enemies attacks and AoE specials by 50%. So this guy is going to be a god when it comes to tanking magic and also dealing damage himself. So a very powerful unit. Alright, next up we have the Summer Joshua. Honestly, I would say this guy is a skip, unless you really like Joshua like me, and you would love to get a copy of him. He has Coral Bow, which is a decent weapon, I guess. You can inherit this on your other bow units, but it's really not as good as Spendthrift Bow or Plegian Bow that we just recently got. So it's not a must-have weapon, I would say. And the rest of his skills are kind of mid, so there's really not too much fodder value in this Joshua. But there is one interesting thing about him, and it's that he's one of the only red bow units that we have in the game, and there's really not too many. It's pretty much just him, the New Year Anna, and also Midori. So let's say you were playing in Pawns of Loki, and for whatever reason you wanted to use 4 bow units. You would need to have one of every color, or at least multiples of every color if you want to maximize your chances of them showing up. So having another red bow unit is actually pretty valuable in itself, but that's going to be completely up to you. I don't know if you want to go for this Joshua, honestly. He's not really the best in terms of fodder. So red is pretty much being carried by that Duo Sigurd. Alright, up next we have the blue pool, and it consists of the Summer Lute as well as the Pirate Geese. Now, this is actually pretty cool because both of these units are 4-star demotes. So if you're sniping on blue, odds are pretty good you're going to be able to pick up either one of these two. Not going to be too hard since they have the 4-star rates. And we're going to start things off with the Pirate Geese. So this guy is amazing. He's the only unit to come with Flowing Lance, and Flowing Lance is one of the best weapons in the game. It's going to do Lull Attack and Defense 5, as long as you're not adjacent to any allies. So a premier weapon to go for any of your Lance units that do not have a unique weapon for themselves. And he's also comes with Infantry Pulse, a very good skill for IP teams. Now, you can easily get Infantry Pulse in the Grail Shop, it is on the Marissa that we can get in there. But the thing is, I've summoned that Marissa so many times from the Grail shop that if I want to get any more copies, it's going to cost me 500 Grails to do it. And that's not really justifiable anymore. So instead of going for that, I would rather actually summon Infantry Pulse on the banners and give that to my new Infantry Pulse units that way. So that could be a good reason to summon for this Geese. But really the main thing you're going to want from him is Flowing Lance. Okay, and then we have the Summer Lute over here. So Summer Lute, most of her skills aren't really that impressive, but her weapon is actually pretty cool. So it inflicts speed and res -5 on the foes within 2 spaces. A pretty solid debuff. It's like a little bit better of a range skill where you're debuffing by 1 additional point. And the nice thing about this weapon is that not only Lute, but also your other allies can take advantage of this debuff. So it's a pretty cool weapon. Definitely a nice blue tome to inherit. But we just recently got the Tempest Trial Veronica, and her blue tome is also a pretty good inheritable one. So pretty much just decide whether or not you think this is going to be more valuable or Veronica's weapon is going to be more valuable for your blue tome units. But I would say blue is a pretty solid color to snipe one. Okay, next up we have green, and I gotta be honest guys, green is like towering over all the other colors here. We have the Harmonized Veronica, and we also have the Halloween Grima on this banner. So let's start things off with Veronica. Now, Veronica is going to raise your score in Resonant Battles if you have her on the team when it's either Fates season or Fire Emblem Heroes season. So that's already pretty good. I do not have a copy of Veronica, so I am very tempted to snipe green on this banner and try to get her. But otherwise, she is also a very powerful unit outside of Resonant Battles. Her weapon grants a -1 special trigger, and it also gives her defense and res up 5 and inflicts defense and res -5 on the foes, and it grants her a guaranteed follow-up. So with the -1 special trigger and the guaranteed follow-up, she makes for a very strong Gale Force option. You could give her the Heavy Blade Sacred Seal or the A-Slot skill, and then she's going to be able to attack the foes twice and instantly ramp into Gale Force. Very useful on cavalry types that can move 3 spaces, of course. She also comes with attack and defense solo 4 and lull attack and defense 3. So pretty good fodder skills and a pretty good weapon. She's just a really solid unit overall and a very nice addition to your barracks if you don't have her. Also, her Harmonized skill is going to grant defense and res up 4 to units that are from the exact same game as her and Xander. And then she also stops the foes from making a follow-up attack. So the impact effect, essentially. And that's pretty cool because normally cavalry type units are not supposed to have that effect. So it's a pretty cheeky way to cheat that onto them. So a very good unit to summon there. And then we have the Halloween Grima up next. And this unit is ridiculous. Dragon's Ire is like the most coveted skill in the game for dragon type units right now. It's going to stop them from being hit by impact effects, and then it's going to give them a guaranteed follow-up attack. So it's sort of like null follow-up and quick repost built into one. So a very solid B-slot skill there. I would really love to get a copy of this for both my Nowi and my Myrrh. So, like I said, I need both Veronica and this Robin. So there's a lot of value for me to be had on sniping on green here. But I do want to actually save my orbs for the upcoming Hero Rises banner, which we're going to talk about as soon as I'm done covering this. But otherwise, though, this Grima is a really good summon. Dragon's Ire, like I said, and then her weapon is also very powerful. It gives her distant counter, and then it also is going to recover an additional 30 points of Okay, I worded that badly. It's going to recover 30% of her maximum HP if she's in 2 spaces of an ally, and she deals damage using a special attack during combat. So, of course, they also have Noontime on her. So you're going to be able to stack both of these together and recover 60% HP. Pretty solid healing right there. Or you could go ahead and run something else, like maybe Moonbow, if you wanted to deal some extra damage and then recover some HP. So that's like having a 2-hit version of Aether almost. So a very strong unit. She also has Dragon Scale as well, which negates any effective against flying bonuses. And it inflicts attack and res -6 on the foes and inflicts guard. So like this unit is just stacked. A very good unit to have multiple copies of if you want to go for merges. And that's pretty much why I would say green is easily the best color here. And then last but not least, we have Colorless with 2 dancing units here. So we're going to start things off with Dancing Ethlyn. So this Ethlyn has one very interesting skill on her for fodder, and that's going to be ARD, Attack and Speed 3. A very good skill for your defense teams in Aether raids. Although, honestly, I wouldn't really justify going for this if you're not a whale or you're very casual with the game. It's only going to be an additional 3 points to attack and speed, assuming the conditions are perfect and you have all your structures in play. Whereas, if you ran something like, I don't know, attack and defense, or attack and speed solo 4, or attack and speed push 4, or something like that, you'd still be getting +7 to both of these stats. So I don't know if I would justify summoning for this unless you're a whale, but do keep in mind it is slightly better for Aether Raids defense teams. And then she also comes with the Courtly Fan Plus. So this one is going to raise attack and speed by 5 points if you initiate combat. And it also has half of null follow-up, where the foes are not going to be able to stop you from doing a double attack. So not too shabby of a weapon if you want to give that to any of your dagger units pretty much. But she is also a dancer as well, so that could come in handy. There's not too many dancing units from Fire Emblem 4, I think. Let me see here. There's okay, actually, no, we have Sylvia. And Sylvia is a 4-star summon, so yeah. Maybe not quite as valuable as I may have thought. But if we take a look at Nephenee over here, surprisingly, Nephenee is the only dancer from Path of Radiance, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure both Leanne and Rayson are counted as being from Radiant Dawn. Well, I guess Leanne kind of makes sense because she's only playable in Radiant Dawn. But I'm surprised Rayson is not being counted as being from Path of Radiance in this game. So if you need a dancer from Path of Radiance for any of those limited battle modes where you can only use characters from one game, or if you can only use them in resonant battles, then this Nephenee has a lot of value for that. But as far as her skills goes, they're not really anything too interesting here. Fiddlestick Bow, I don't even know what this does. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, effective against flying, grants defense and res up 4 to allies in 2 spaces. Against foes that have pretty much melee type weapons there. Okay. So it's not too shabby. It's like close guard built into a weapon. That's okay. It's not awful. But really, you only want her because she's the only dancer from Path of Radiance. Or if you are a fan of Nephenee and you would like to just go ahead and pick her up. She is a pretty cool waifu from that game. So overall, my impressions are that green is definitely in first place here. Followed probably by either red or blue. It's hard to say. It depends on how much you want to value Sigurd. But I do think he is the best dancer in the game. But on blue, you really can't go wrong. Both of those units are 4-star available. So if you want to pick them up for fodder, it shouldn't be that difficult to get them. And then I would say Colorless is probably in last place overall. Nephenee is very useful, like I said, but not really the best in terms of fodder. And Ethlyn as well, she's got some interesting fodder, but I don't really think it's anything to go too crazy over. So those are just my impressions on the banner. And now, like I said, I would totally just snipe on green on this banner because I need some stuff from it. But we are going to be getting the Hero Rises banner, presumably at the end of the month. And the top 4 units from the voting gauntlet are going to show up in that banner. And I'm pretty sure Seiros and Ninja Lin are going to be shoo-ins. They did very well in the actual voting for a Hero Rises. So I'm pretty sure those 2 are going to be on the banner. And given that we're able to spark at least one time, I want to hold on to enough orbs to do a sparking on that banner. So I can go ahead and walk away with either Seiros or Ninja Lin, depending on who I actually summon up until the sparking, right? So Seiros is incredible because she gives you the extra team slot for defense. And I do not have a copy of Seiros yet. So it's really hurting me on defense in Aether Raids right now. I would love to be able to just build some crazy debauchery with the 7-unit defense teams, but I'm not going to be able to do it until I get Saros. So that's going to wrap us up for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed my breakdown on the Double Special Heroes banner. Let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think of this banner and whether or not you plan to summon on it yourself. And like I said, I might want to go in on green, but I'm still debating whether or not I should save my orbs for the upcoming banners. So that's all for today. This is your boy Tacho signing out. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.